Hello everyone, and welcome to Wisdom and Wealth. In a world that constantly demands your attention, pulling you in countless directions, how do you maintain your inner peace? How do you cultivate a stronger self amidst the relentless noise, speed, and distractions of modern life? What if the answer isn't about striving harder, but about rediscovering simplicity, discipline, silence, and presence? Buddhist wisdom, a timeless guide, suggests that true transformation is not a boisterous event. It unfolds quietly, like the blossoming of a lotus in still waters. If you're over 40, perhaps you are searching for a more meaningful path than the one that has led you to this point in your life? If that sounds familiar, please subscribe to this channel so we can connect and I can show you more helpful tips and tricks. It's not about dramatically overhauling your entire existence at once. It's about those small, consistent habits you consciously choose to incorporate into your daily life. These seemingly insignificant choices, accumulated over time, mold and shape the strongest, most authentic version of yourself. You don't necessarily need to embark on a completely new life journey. What you likely need is to establish a better, more harmonious rhythm. A rhythm where your intellect and intuition guide you, not your fleeting emotions. A rhythm where your everyday choices reflect the person you genuinely aspire to become. A person of wisdom and wealth. So, if you're feeling ready to reconnect with your inner self, to nurture your growth, and to embrace a path of peaceful, progressive improvement, then consider these 10 daily habits that can begin to transform your life, starting today. 1. Begin your day in complete, undisturbed silence. Before you reach for your phone, before checking emails or social media, before engaging in conversation with anyone, offer yourself the precious gift of silence. Just sit comfortably, close your eyes gently, and breathe deeply. Don't try to plan the day, don't attempt to solve problems, and don't rush into the day's demands. Allow your mind to settle, like undisturbed water, becoming clear and still. You don't need to chant ancient mantras. You don't need to play soothing music. You don't even need to meditate in the traditional sense of emptying your mind. Simply be present with yourself, just for a few moments. In Buddhism, silence isn't emptiness, it's a doorway. It's a gateway to profound self-awareness. The Buddha often sought refuge in silence, not as an escape from the world, but as a means of hearing the world more clearly from within. Are you starting to get value out of this video? Give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more valuable content like this. When you begin your day in silence, you're providing your nervous system with the necessary time to regulate itself, to find its equilibrium. You're giving your thoughts space to breathe, to sort themselves out, and you're granting your soul the permission to rise above the clamor of the external world. Most individuals awaken and immediately bombard their minds with a barrage of stimulation, notifications, breaking news, endless thoughts, and nagging worries. This onslaught of information causes your entire system to go into overdrive before your feet even touch the floor. However, if you deliberately choose silence as your first act, you create a potent buffer zone, a protective barrier between yourself and the inevitable chaos of the day. Even a mere 5 minutes of intentional silence in the morning can recalibrate your entire outlook, shifting your perspective and setting a more peaceful tone. It's akin to lighting a single candle in a darkened room. It subtly but profoundly changes everything. That quiet space helps you remember the essential truth: you are not defined by your thoughts, your anxieties, or your overflowing schedule. You are the awareness that exists behind all of these things, the silent observer. So, let the world patiently wait. Your inner peace is not a luxury, it's the very foundation upon which you build a meaningful and fulfilling life. Reclaim it the moment you open your eyes each morning. 2. Commit to learning something new every single day. Personal growth doesn't demand colossal leaps or drastic changes. It thrives in small, consistent steps, each building upon the last. And one of the most effective steps you can take daily is to intentionally learn something new. Not for the purpose of impressing others, but for the sake of nourishing your own mind and expanding your own awareness. Buddhism wisely teaches us that the mind, much like the body, requires sustenance and nourishment, and learning is its most vital food. When you make a commitment to learn every day, even if it's just one new idea, one fresh insight, or one practical skill, you're sending a powerful message to your inner self. You're declaring, I choose growth. I choose to expand my horizons. And that conscious choice alone begins to subtly shift your energy, directing it towards positivity and progress. You don't have to dedicate hours to reading an entire book. You don't need to enroll in an expensive, elaborate course. All you truly need is a sense of genuine curiosity. If you agree with that thought, then subscribe to our channel so we can go on that journey of discovery together. One meaningful quote, one thought-provoking paragraph, one 5-minute video that broadens your understanding of the world or yourself, that can be more than sufficient. What truly matters most is that you approach this practice with intention and mindfulness. It might be a valuable lesson gleaned from a spiritual teacher, a hidden truth revealed in a casual conversation, a new vocabulary word, a new practical technique, or a fresh realization about your own behavior patterns. Every experience, no matter how mundane it seems, holds the potential to teach you something valuable, if you are willing to listen with an open mind. When you begin to actively learn something every day, your mind becomes sharper, your choices become more thoughtful and deliberate, and your entire life becomes more awake, more vibrant. You're no longer merely existing, passively drifting through the days, you're actively evolving, becoming a better version of yourself. And in Buddhism, that kind of heightened awareness is at the very heart of liberation, freeing you from the shackles of ignorance and suffering. So, each day, ask yourself the simple question, what can I learn today that will make me a little wiser, a little calmer, and a little more conscious? The answers are all around you, readily available. All you have to do is open your mind and receive them. The answers are usually hidden in plain sight. 3. Make your bed every morning. It might initially seem like a small, insignificant task, but making your bed first thing in the morning is a quiet, almost meditative act of self-respect. You're not merely smoothing out a blanket or rearranging pillows. You're actively training your mind to follow through on commitments, to initiate and complete tasks, and to bring a sense of order to your immediate environment before the chaos of the day has a chance to creep in. In Buddhism, discipline is viewed as a path to freedom, not as a form of restriction. It represents the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't particularly feel like doing it. And that ability begins with the very first decision you make upon waking up. When you make your bed, you're sending a clear and powerful message to your subconscious mind. I am in control. I take care of my space. I follow through on the small things, so I can be trusted with the bigger ones. This seemingly simple habit can create a ripple effect, positively influencing the rest of your day. It builds structure within your mind, fostering a sense of order and clarity. It helps you feel more grounded, more centered, and more prepared to face whatever challenges the day may bring. It also provides you with one small, immediate win right away, setting a positive tone. And that sense of momentum often spills over into your next decision and the next. On the other hand, skipping this seemingly harmless step can allow laziness or avoidance to subtly creep into your day, often unnoticed. Buddhism teaches us to cultivate mindfulness in everything we do, no matter how mundane it might seem. Even folding a blanket can become a sacred act if it's done with awareness and intention. So, tomorrow morning, before you do anything else, take just 2 minutes to make your bed. Not because you feel obligated to, but because you're choosing to take pride in your surroundings. This one small act of discipline can build a lasting foundation of order, focus, and self-trust that extends far beyond the confines of your bedroom. 4. Move your body daily. Your body and your mind are deeply and inextricably connected. Have you learned something new so far? Subscribe and share this video with your friends. When one is feeling stuck or stagnant, the other often follows suit. That's why daily physical movement, even if it's just for a few minutes, can completely shift your energy levels, your focus, and your overall mood. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of being fully present in the body, experiencing the world through your senses. The Buddha himself walked daily with deep awareness, using each step as a form of moving meditation. Movement doesn't have to be intense or extreme to be beneficial. It simply has to be mindful. Start by stretching gently when you wake up. Go for a slow, quiet walk in nature. Engage in a short yoga flow. Dance to your favorite music. Even taking the stairs instead of the elevator can help you reconnect with your body. The primary goal isn't to burn calories or achieve a certain level of fitness. It's to shake off mental fog, to release pent-up emotional heaviness, and to bring your awareness back into the present moment, grounding you in your physical experience. When your body moves, your energy shifts. Stagnant energy breeds stagnant thoughts, leading to mental and emotional blockages. But movement, no matter how simple, helps emotions flow, reduces stress, and activates clarity. It gets you out of your head and into your life. In Buddhist practice, we don't separate the body from the spiritual path. We treat the body as a sacred vessel, something to be cared for with respect and attention. A strong, balanced body provides the essential foundation for a calm and focused mind. So, don't wait for motivation to strike. Just begin. Stretch, walk, breathe. Move slowly if you must, but move. Because when your body wakes up, so does your spirit. 5. Practice journaling with intention, not just emotion. Journaling can be an incredibly powerful tool for self-discovery and personal growth, but only when it's done with a sense of purpose and direction. Many people mistakenly treat their journal as an emotional dumping ground, pouring out their frustrations, confusions, or sadness without any clear intention or direction. While this might offer temporary relief, it often leaves the mind feeling even more cluttered and overwhelmed than before. Instead, try to use your journal as a mirror, not as a trash bin. Use it as a tool to reflect, to gain insights, rather than simply to react to your emotions. In Buddhism, intention is considered to be even more important than emotion. When you journal with intention, you're asking yourself better questions. You're not just expressing how you feel, but actively exploring why you feel that way. You're striving to create clarity and understanding, not just to vent your frustrations and add more noise to your already busy mind. This is the fundamental difference between getting lost in your thoughts and learning from them, transforming them into valuable lessons. Each day, take a few quiet moments to write, not to rant, but to grow. Ask yourself, what did I learn about myself today? Where was I mindful, and where did I drift into unconsciousness? What would the wiser version of me do in this particular situation? If you liked these tips, you'll really love the next 5. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so I can show them to you. When you write in this way, you begin to uncover patterns in your behavior, noticing where you're frequently triggered and spotting the moments where fear speaks louder than peace and reason. And from this heightened awareness, genuine transformation becomes possible. Journaling with intention transforms your notebook into a quiet, insightful teacher, guiding you towards greater self-understanding. You begin to respond to situations with greater wisdom and compassion, rather than simply reacting impulsively. You replace confusion with clarity and insight. You become more honest with yourself, acknowledging your strengths and weaknesses without judgment. And that honesty opens the door to profound personal growth. So, don't just write to feel better in the moment. Write to understand, write to awaken. Because every word you put down with awareness takes you one step closer to the person you're ultimately meant to become. 6. Eat for energy, not emotion. Food is one of the most direct and sacred ways we interact with the world around us. Every bite we take literally becomes a part of our physical being, fueling our bodies and shaping our overall health. Yet, despite this fundamental connection, most of us don't eat with mindfulness and awareness. We eat with emotion, often reaching for snacks and comfort foods not because we're genuinely hungry, but because we're stressed, bored, lonely, or overwhelmed. Food becomes an escape from our feelings, rather than a source of true nourishment. But Buddhism offers us a different perspective, encouraging us to eat with presence, with awareness, and with purpose. When you eat to fuel your body and nourish your well-being, rather than to soothe your emotions, you begin to break free from one of the most common forms of unconscious behavior. You stop using food as a distraction from your problems and start using it as a form of self-respect, honoring your body's needs and treating it with the care it deserves. Ask yourself this simple question before every meal: am I eating because I'm truly hungry, or because I'm trying to avoid something? This seemingly simple question can reveal a great deal about your emotional state. Maybe you're trying to avoid stress. Maybe you're seeking comfort. Maybe you're simply reacting out of habit, without conscious thought. Whatever the answer may be, just noticing it is a powerful first step. Because mindfulness begins the moment you observe yourself without judgment, simply acknowledging your thoughts and feelings as they arise. In Buddhist philosophy, eating is not meant to be rushed or mindless. It's not something to simply get over with while scrolling through your phone or watching a screen. Eating is a practice, a form of meditation, an opportunity to connect with the present moment and to honor the energy that's entering your body, sustaining your life. When you slow down while eating, something magical happens. You actually taste your food, savoring the flavors and textures. You become more attuned to your body's signals, noticing when you're truly full and satisfied. You cultivate gratitude for the earth that provides the food, for the farmers who grew it, for the cooks who prepared it, and for your own body that receives it. And with that gratitude comes a sense of peace, a feeling of connection to something larger than yourself. You're no longer mindlessly consuming food to fill a void. You're eating with intention, providing your body with what it needs so your mind can be clear, your energy can be strong, and your spirit can be nourished. This shift in perspective can transform your entire relationship with food, moving you away from a pattern of emotional eating and towards a more conscious and mindful approach. Instead of punishing your body with overeating or sugar crashes, you begin to ask, will this food give me clarity or fog? Will it energize me or make me sleepy? Is this choice rooted in love and self-care, or in mindless impulse? The more you practice this mindful approach, the more sensitive you become to what your body truly wants. You start noticing how some foods make you feel light, focused, and awake, while others drain you, dull your senses, or trigger feelings of guilt and regret. Buddhist monks are deeply mindful of how they eat, practicing mindful eating as a central part of their daily routine. They eat in silence, savoring each bite. They chew slowly, allowing their bodies to fully absorb the nutrients. They treat food as sacred, not because of rigid rules, but because they understand that what you consume ultimately consumes you, shaping your thoughts, feelings, and overall state of being. What you take in through food, through media, through conversations, and through your own thoughts shapes your state of being. So, begin slowly, making small, incremental changes. You don't need to become perfectly disciplined overnight. Just pause before you eat. Just breathe. Just ask yourself why you're eating. And if the answer is emotional, give that emotion space to be seen, acknowledged, and felt without automatically feeding it with food. Over time, you'll notice that your body feels stronger, your mind feels clearer, and your emotional waves become smaller and less overwhelming. Not because life suddenly became easier, but because you stopped hiding behind food and started facing life with greater presence and awareness. If you like this channel and want to see more videos like this, give it a like. Eating for energy is about living consciously, about remembering that your body is a precious gift, and that what you feed it should support your peace, your well-being, and your overall flourishing, not your pain or your suffering. When you eat with awareness, every meal becomes an act of healing, nourishing not just your body, but your mind and your soul as well. Every bite becomes a step toward freedom, freeing you from the shackles of emotional eating and empowering you to make choices that truly serve your highest good. And that's the real nourishment, the kind that sustains you not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually as well. 7. Remove one useless thing daily. Every day, your life is not defined so much by how much you add to it, but by what you're willing to remove. In today's world, we're constantly bombarded by noise, clutter, distractions, and excess. We collect things, physical objects, mental baggage, digital files, believing that more will somehow make us feel better, more complete, more fulfilled. But in Buddhism, the path to peace isn't about accumulating more, it's about subtracting, letting go, clearing away the unnecessary so that the essential can finally breathe. One of the most powerful habits you can cultivate is this simple practice: remove just one useless thing from your life every day. It might be a physical object, a toxic behavior, a mindless habit, or even a draining relationship. The point isn't to create emptiness for the sake of emptiness. It's to create space, allowing room for the things that truly matter to flourish. And in that space, your true self can finally rise, unburdened by the weight of the unnecessary. Start small, looking around you in your room, on your desk, on your phone. Is there something you don't use, something you keep just in case, something that no longer adds value to your life? Let it go. Give it away. Delete it. Throw it out. Do it without guilt, without second-guessing. That one small act of release is an act of clarity, helping you to focus on what's truly important. But this habit goes far beyond physical things. What about your time, your thoughts, your routines? Are you spending hours scrolling through social media, absorbing negativity, comparing yourself to others? Are you constantly saying yes to things that drain you, out of guilt or fear? Are you repeating mental loops of self-doubt, resentment, or worry that no longer serve you? Every day, take a quiet moment and ask yourself, what is one thing I can let go of today that will make me lighter, freer, and more focused on what truly matters? Don't try to eliminate everything at once. Just choose one thing, starting small. Maybe you stop checking your phone first thing in the morning, protecting your peace of mind. Maybe you cancel a commitment that no longer aligns with your values, freeing up your time for more meaningful pursuits. Maybe you let go of a negative belief about yourself that you've carried for years, releasing the burden of self-doubt. Maybe you clean out one drawer, delete old emails, or mute a toxic account, creating more space in your physical and digital worlds. It doesn't matter how small it seems, because each act of subtraction strengthens your awareness, reminding you of your power to choose what you allow into your life. In Buddhist tradition, simplicity is considered a sacred virtue. The monks own very few possessions, not because they're forced to, but because they understand a deeper truth: the more you carry, the less you feel. Letting go is not losing, it's returning to yourself, to peace, to stillness. And the beautiful thing is that letting go creates momentum, making it easier to continue the process. Once you remove one thing, you begin to see how much more can go, clearing the path for greater clarity and peace. You start craving clarity instead of chaos, seeking simplicity instead of complexity. You start protecting your energy instead of wasting it on things that don't truly matter. Do you want to learn the next 3 key points? You should definitely subscribe to this channel to see the rest of this highly valuable content. You stop filling your time and start truly living your life, engaging with the world in a more intentional and meaningful way. Let this be your quiet daily practice. Remove one thing. No drama, no noise, just one small release that tells your mind, I no longer need what no longer serves me. Because the truth is that most of what we hold on to, we don't even truly want. We're just afraid of the space it leaves behind, clinging to the familiar even when it's detrimental to our well-being. But that space, that's where peace lives. That's where growth begins. That's where your real self, calm, focused, and free, has been waiting all along. So, don't chase more, let go, one thing at a time. 8. Speak less, observe more. Words are powerful, but silence is sacred. In a world that constantly urges you to speak, to post, to explain, to react, and to prove yourself, one of the most transformative habits you can cultivate is this: speak less, observe more. This isn't about staying quiet to be passive, withdrawing from the world. It's about staying quiet to become more aware, more present, more attuned to what's happening around you and within you. Because when you speak less, you hear more, not just what others are saying, but what's going on inside yourself. Buddhism teaches us the importance of right speech, encouraging us to speak with kindness, truthfulness, and wisdom. But before you can speak wisely, you must first learn to see clearly. That clarity comes not from talking, but from observing your thoughts before you speak them, observing people without instantly judging them, observing the energy of a room before you decide to enter with your voice. When you speak less, your words begin to carry more weight, becoming more deliberate and meaningful. You begin to choose quality over quantity, focusing on saying what truly needs to be said, rather than filling the air with empty chatter. You stop wasting energy on small talk, gossip, or defending your ego, and in return, your presence becomes more grounded, more authentic, more powerful. People notice the difference, even if they can't quite explain it. But perhaps even more importantly, when you reduce the noise coming out of your mouth, you reduce the noise in your mind, creating space for clarity and insight. You give your inner world a chance to surface, your true thoughts, your hidden patterns, your real motives. You start seeing the truth beneath the surface of the moment, understanding what's really going on. And this kind of clarity is rare, because it requires patience and discipline, qualities that are often in short supply in our fast-paced world. Observation is a form of meditation, training your awareness like a muscle. The more you observe, the more you understand how people move, what they truly mean, what's unsaid in a conversation. You begin to notice the tone behind the words, the emotion behind the silence, the contradiction between someone's words and actions. That's emotional intelligence. That's wisdom. And it can't be accessed if you're always talking, filling every moment with your own voice. Start by practicing small moments of intentional silence throughout your day. The next time you're in a conversation, don't rush to speak, don't interrupt, don't try to be interesting, try to be interested, genuinely curious about what the other person has to say. Let others speak while you observe, without preparing your next sentence. Listen to understand, not to reply, and you'll be surprised by what you learn. People reveal more when you don't push them, allowing you to gain a deeper understanding of their perspectives. Are you enjoying these last points? Please take a moment to like this video. You realize how often you speak just to fill silence or seek validation, craving attention and approval. You notice how much more peaceful you feel when you don't need to be heard all the time, relinquishing the need to control the conversation. There's also the observation of self, the practice of observing your own thoughts and emotions without reacting. Watch your thoughts without judgment, simply acknowledging them as they arise and pass away. Hear the way your inner voice speaks to you. Does it encourage you or criticize you? Does it judge others or seek compassion? When you become a silent observer of your own mind, you begin to reclaim your power, detaching from the endless stream of thoughts and emotions. You no longer act on every impulse, every thought, every emotion. You watch them come and go like clouds in the sky, maintaining a sense of inner peace. The Buddha himself was known for moments of deep silence, radiating a sense of stillness and wisdom. He didn't rush to answer every question. He listened, he observed, and he spoke only when his words could bring clarity, healing, or wisdom. That's the kind of presence you can develop, not by forcing silence, but by honoring it, recognizing its power to transform your perspective. And over time, something beautiful happens. You begin to realize that not every moment needs your opinion, not every emotion needs to be expressed, not every thought deserves a voice. You begin to protect your peace by protecting your words, choosing to speak with intention and awareness. So, speak less, not because you have nothing to say, but because you are saying more with your awareness, communicating through your presence and your actions. Let your silence carry wisdom, radiating understanding and compassion. Let your observation become your power, allowing you to see clearly and act effectively. Let your presence speak louder than your voice ever could, communicating a sense of inner peace and strength. Because in silence, you don't lose your voice, you find your truth. 9. Keep your promises to yourself. One of the most overlooked forms of self-respect is this: doing what you say you'll do, even when no one is watching, honoring your commitments to yourself. Keeping your promises to yourself may sound like a simple idea, but it's a foundational pillar of personal strength, inner peace, and lasting transformation, providing the building blocks for a fulfilling life. And yet, it's something most people break on a daily basis, quietly, subtly, without fully realizing the damage it causes. In Buddhism, the path of liberation is not about following external rules, it's about cultivating inner integrity, aligning your actions with your values and intentions. When your words and actions align, when your intentions are followed by movement, you begin to walk the path with clarity, experiencing a sense of harmony and purpose. But when you constantly break your own promises, when you say you'll wake up early but don't, when you set goals but abandon them, when you commit to change but fall back into comfort, you start to lose trust in yourself, undermining your self-esteem and confidence. And self-distrust is a silent poison, eroding your sense of self-worth and leaving you feeling powerless to change. Every time you tell yourself, "I'll start tomorrow," and then don't, your subconscious remembers, storing away evidence of your lack of commitment. Every time you skip that workout, avoid that difficult conversation, or delay that creative project, you weaken the bond between your mind and your will, making it harder to follow through on your intentions in the future. It's not just about discipline, it's about identity. You stop believing in your own words, questioning your ability to achieve your goals and living a life of self-doubt. But here's the beautiful truth: you can rebuild that trust, one small promise at a time, gradually restoring your faith in yourself. Start with something so small that it's almost impossible to fail, something that feels easily achievable. Maybe it's, "I will meditate for 2 minutes today," or "I will drink a full glass of water when I wake up," or "I will write one honest sentence in my journal," or "I will put my phone down at 9 p.m. It doesn't matter how tiny the promise is, what matters is that you keep it, proving to yourself that you can be trusted. Do it not to impress anyone else, but to retrain your mind to believe you again, rebuilding the foundation of self-trust. Each time you follow through, you create a new imprint in your consciousness, reinforcing the belief that you are someone who does what they say they'll do, a person of integrity and reliability. And the more often you repeat this, the stronger that identity becomes, solidifying your sense of self-worth. This is how confidence is truly built, not by shouting empty affirmations, but by earning quiet victories day after day, proving to yourself that you are capable of achieving your goals. In Buddhist practice, there is a deep emphasis on right effort, which means making a consistent, conscious effort toward what is wholesome, helpful, and wise, aligning your actions with your values. Please remember to subscribe before you go. This is not about perfectionism, it's not about doing everything flawlessly, striving for an unattainable ideal. It's about aligning your inner intention with your outer action, even when it's hard, even when no one else sees it, trusting that your efforts will bear fruit. Because at the end of the day, you see it. Your inner self is always watching, taking note of your choices and actions. And that part of you, the still, silent observer, knows when you're being honest and when you're making excuses, evaluating your progress and offering guidance. That part of you is not fooled by fleeting motivation, but responds to consistent effort, rewarding your dedication with a growing sense of self-respect. And here's the truth that most people ignore: the promises you break to yourself hurt more than the ones others break to you, cutting you to the core. Why? Because deep down, we expect others to fall short. We understand that people are imperfect and prone to making mistakes. But we want to believe in ourselves, to trust that we are capable of living up to our own standards. And when we break that trust, something inside us dims, leaving us feeling disappointed and disillusioned. But don't worry. You don't have to fix everything overnight. You don't need to become a master of discipline today. You just need to make one decision: today, I will keep one promise to myself, proving to myself that I am capable of following through. Maybe that means getting out of bed when your alarm goes off instead of hitting snooze, resisting the urge to stay in your comfort zone. Maybe it means sitting in silence for 5 minutes, even when your mind resists, cultivating inner peace. Maybe it means saying no to something that feels out of alignment with your values, protecting your time and energy. Whatever it is, treat that promise like a sacred vow, honoring your commitment to yourself. Not to be perfect, but to be present, engaging with your life with intention and awareness. Not to control everything, but to control your response, choosing to act in accordance with your values, even when faced with challenges. And when you fail, and you will sometimes, because everyone makes mistakes, don't shame yourself, don't spiral into guilt, punishing yourself for your imperfections. Buddhism teaches compassion, not punishment, encouraging us to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding. Just pause, reflect, forgive yourself, and return, always return, to your intention, recommitting to your path. This, too, is a form of keeping a promise, the promise to never abandon yourself, no matter how many times you fall, always offering yourself compassion and support. Over time, as you build this habit, something inside begins to shift. You'll walk taller, not from arrogance, but from alignment, experiencing a sense of inner integrity. You'll feel calmer, not because life is easier, but because you're keeping your word, trusting in your ability to navigate challenges. You'll stop chasing fleeting motivation, relying on external sources of inspiration, because you've built steady momentum, fueled by your own self-discipline. And most importantly, you'll begin to love yourself in a deeper, quieter way, not because of your achievements, but because you've proven to yourself that you can be trusted, that you are worthy of your own respect. So, keep your promises, not for applause, not for perfection, but for peace, nurturing your own sense of self-worth. Because when your actions match your words, and your words align with your truth, there is no inner conflict, no internal struggle. There is only freedom, the liberation that comes from living in accordance with your values, true to yourself. And when the day ends, let that freedom grow through honesty, reflecting on your experiences with self-compassion. 10. End your day with honesty. At night, when the world grows quiet and the distractions fade, you're left with the one person you can never hide from, yourself. No matter how busy or successful you've been, when your head touches the pillow, your mind speaks, replaying the events of the day and revealing your true thoughts and feelings. And it speaks honestly, unfiltered by the need to impress or conform. That's why one of the most powerful habits you can develop is this: end your day with total honesty, reflecting on your actions with an open heart and a clear mind. No filters, no pretending, no justifications, just a moment of stillness where you sit with yourself and reflect, gaining insights and learning from your experiences. Did I live today in alignment with the person I want to be, acting in accordance with my values and intentions? In Buddhism, reflection is not about punishment, dwelling on your mistakes and berating yourself for your imperfections. It's about awakening, cultivating awareness and understanding. The Buddha taught that awareness is the first step toward liberation, freeing us from the shackles of ignorance and suffering. When we observe our day with clear, non-judgmental eyes, we begin to see where we're still caught in illusion, in attachment, in ego, recognizing the patterns that hold us back. And from that awareness, real transformation becomes possible, empowering us to make different choices in the future. This habit doesn't require hours of analysis, just 5 to 10 quiet minutes at night before sleep, before you drift into the dream world, to ask yourself a few honest questions. Where was I truly present today, fully engaged in the moment? Where did I act from fear instead of love, allowing anxiety to dictate my choices? What moments made me proud, filling me with a sense of accomplishment? What do I wish I had handled differently, learning from my mistakes? Did I listen more than I spoke, valuing the perspectives of others? Did I act in alignment with my values, or did I drift into unconsciousness, allowing myself to be swayed by external influences? These are not questions to shame you, to make you feel bad about yourself. They are questions to wake you up, to inspire you to live more intentionally. Most people live on autopilot, moving through their days without awareness, repeating the same emotional habits, reacting to the same triggers, falling into the same distractions. And without reflection, nothing ever changes, because nothing is truly seen. You remain trapped in the same patterns, perpetuating the cycle of unconsciousness. But when you shine the light of truth on your day, even for just a few minutes, you begin to reclaim your power, choosing to live with intention and awareness. You don't need perfect answers, you don't have to fix everything in one night. You just need to tell yourself the truth, acknowledging your experiences without judgment. Because truth, even when it's uncomfortable, is what sets the mind free, liberating you from the burden of denial and self-deception. There's something deeply peaceful about ending your day with honesty, releasing the need to pretend and embracing your authentic self. You no longer carry the hidden weight of pretending, trying to project an image of perfection. You don't have to keep running from your own reflection, hiding from your imperfections. Instead, you meet yourself, not with judgment, but with presence, offering yourself compassion and understanding. You might discover that you snapped at someone you love and regretted, acknowledging your imperfections. You might realize you procrastinated again on something that matters, recognizing your patterns of avoidance. Or you might feel proud of a small moment where you showed courage, patience, or kindness, celebrating your strengths. Either way, you are learning, you are growing, and that is what matters. You are actively evolving, becoming a more conscious and compassionate human being. This practice also helps you sleep better, promoting relaxation and restfulness. Why? Because unresolved emotions, ignored thoughts, and unspoken guilt often follow us into our dreams, disrupting our sleep and leaving us feeling restless. But when you reflect honestly, when you clear your mental space before bed, your mind can finally rest, free from the burden of unresolved issues. It's like closing all the open tabs in your brain, shutting down the mental chatter and allowing your thoughts to settle. You give yourself peace, creating a sense of inner harmony. And if you want to take this one step further, write it down, not a full journal entry, just a few sentences, a nightly check-in. Today I was proud of. Today I struggled with. Tomorrow I will. This simple practice turns your day into a cycle of conscious living, reinforcing your intentions and promoting continuous growth. It grounds your growth, solidifying your learning and helping you integrate your experiences. It builds self-trust, strengthening your belief in your ability to live in accordance with your values. And it reminds you that no matter how messy life feels, you always have the power to return to yourself, reconnecting.